everyone, are you ready for another adventure? It's me, Woki, and I'm back with another Fate Grand Order video. Would you look at the time? February's coming to a close, which means March is coming up. So it's time to take a look and see what events and banners are coming to the game in March that we know of. That's going to be today's video. I hope you like it. If you do, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you're looking forward to the most in March. I'm going to assume for a decent amount of people, it's going to be the collab. I know I'm pretty excited to eventually see the Ordeal Call II. I've also seen a couple people be a little bit like, I don't think I'm ready for Ordeal Call II in some other kind of ways. But yeah, tell me what you're looking forward to, whatever it may be, and let's begin the video. So, how do we know what's coming to the game? Well, the answer is that we're actually 2 years behind on JP. Now, you'll also notice if you've watched a decent amount of these videos, I said that we know of. The reason is we can take a current look. Like I said, we're 2 years behind, so typically the way we kind of judge what's going to be coming for us next is that we just simply see what JP did and we assume the same thing will happen to us. But most recently, this guy came out, and Richard was not on the schedule. So if you watched the previous month's video that I did talking about it, I didn't mention that Richard was coming because I didn't know that Richard was coming. So I'm gonna try and see if I can maybe at the end of the video take a guess and say, do I think anything that we wouldn't expect coming up is gonna be happening soon? And kind of leave it at there, but there's really no way to kind of predict these. These are now one of those things that's like, I don't know if this is ever going to happen, so you're going to have to use your best kind of discretion of these kind of things. But I hope you understand, if I get something wrong or unexpected, literally no one expected that to happen. And if you did, you're some kind of Promethean god. You're the only one that still has Clairvoyance EX. Right now we have Clairvoyance A+ at best, because there's some things we simply just cannot predict is going to happen. So the current event going on is, of course, White Day, the 2026, yes, the 2026 event. I thought I said 2016 there for a second. Charlemagne's event that's currently going on, along with Chaldea Boys Collection. And if we go over here, which was around the start of March for them, but was launched in February for us. So the next thing that should be coming up is the ID chapter release, which is Ordeal Call II. Now, another thing that we kind of have to look at, because it's going to help contextualize what I think is likely going to be coming in March. The last thing that is likely happening in March is going to be the collab event, which is the Witch of the Holy Night, the murder at the Kumano Hot Springs. So if we look over here, that's sometime near the end of April. So I'm going to say the cutoff is here for all intents and purposes. And if you're also wondering, hey, how come this happened in the collab event happened for Japan over in April? Why does it happen for us in March? The reason is that Japan has a much later anniversary than us. Their anniversary is typically end of August or the end of July, the beginning of August, and ours is always on the first week of Anime Expo, which is usually in July, as you can see here, and it's going to be the same for us. That's when our anniversary happens, so that's why some things have to be moving forward at a much quicker pace. This will come back a little bit at the later when I talk about some of the unknown unknowns. But anyway, with all that in, let's finally take a look at the ID chapter release and see what's going to be coming with that. So obviously some new servants. I actually can't believe I forgot to talk about these guys when I was making my big, should I summon, what units am I going to be summoning for this year? Because I'm obviously planning to summon on this one. But this will, of course, feature the new story chapter coming out. If you want to know, without looking directly at the story chapter itself, I'll just tell you how many sync quartz you get from it, just because I don't want to accidentally spoil something. Especially for the people who have waited 2 years for this chapter, me included. You should get around 26 sync quartz from the main chapter and 8 from free quest after the chapter is done, so that's a total of 34. And in terms of the new servants, we've got Marie Antoinette Alter and Hasana the Shining Star. Marie Antoinette Alter is a 5-star, Hasana the Shining Star is a 4-star, and then we have the Count of Monte Cristo, who is a 5-star, and Alessandro di Cagliostro, who is a 4-star. They also say servant animation updates will be here for both of the Jones, though I don't think they're in the game just yet. But it's because I don't have Alter, so I actually can't test that. I'm pretty sure they're not. We have them already?
For sure.
When were they added? Okay, my brother says they've already been added, so I'm going to assume that they've already been added. That's another thing of saying that we get stuff earlier sometimes. But anyway, Class Core Extra 1 unlocked, new permanent craft essences, including the one who failed to attain immortality, recollection from the tobacco smoke, Blade of Mediocrity. There should be a Chaldean Broadcast Volume 21 commemorative longing bonus. Ours is obviously not going to be called that, but we'll have a stream of some kind that will give us 14 Saint Quartz, so that's some additional Saint Quartz coming our way. New material will be added, Flower of the End and Golden Cauldron. The way that the summoning campaign kind of breaks down. Oh, a new strengthening for both of the gens right here. Did we already get these as well? I'm gonna assume no. Okay, good. These are still coming on the way. Summoning campaign 1, which features Marie Antoinette Altar and Hassan of the Shining Star, will be the first of the summoning campaigns. And then about 3 days afterwards, it should be Altar and Antonio Salieri. And then number 3 is going to be Tairo no Kagekyo, along with regular Marie Antoinette, the 4-star version. And then the 4th summon campaign, which should be a week from when this banner launches, is going to be the Count of Monte Cristo and Alessandro di Cagliostro. I also feel like I messed up that name pretty bad. But yeah, that's what's going to be coming with the chapter ID. And now we also have a specific day from when this is coming out now. They wanted to release on the 11th. That's when the current planned release is, so that should be coming up relatively pretty soon, actually, like about a week and 6 days or so, depending on when you see this video. Obviously, it's going to be coming up pretty soon. And now we'll move on to the next thing. And remember when I said I don't know how some things are going to go? This is a big one, the Spring New Masters Aid campaign. So I'm going to first start by showing off what's going to be in it. So for the Spring New Master Aid campaign, we should get a total of 12 Saint Quartz. As you can see right here, from login bonuses and also the time limited missions, it should be that. Yes, 6 here and then 6 here, along with 2 summon tickets and a bunch of other stuff like craft essences and some EXP, a golden apple, some QP, and some friend points. Other campaigns will be going along with it as well. Start dash if you're a coming back player, if you're a new player, and a comeback if you are coming back to the game. And the summoning campaign, this is the important part. It has Artoria Caster on it, Castoria. This is one of those banners where it's like, if you are a newer player and you do not have Castoria, this is a big banner, because Castoria is definitely one of those units that if you have, it just makes your life extremely easy. Not saying that you can play the game, you don't need them to play the game, obviously, but if you have them, it makes your life so much easier, and it opens up a lot of arts farming for you, as well as along with using them for challenge quests and stuff like that. An overall amazing unit to have. And then there's also Astria, Jean, and Nito Chris. Well, I think someone most recently told me that I've been saying the name wrong. I could not remember it at the moment, though. Yeah, these two are going to be coming out with this one. So where's the problem with it? That all sounds great. Here's the problem. I don't know when this happens. So last year, the back to school in March, the Spring New Astro Masters Aid campaign that you can see right here. I stumbled over my words so badly, which is a summoning campaign that features Merlin. That actually was delayed to the back to school, which would have been August. So will this get delayed the same way? Maybe. There's also a small chance it won't. So I was actually kind of surprised. Some other people were like, no, I think this gets moved to back to school. The reason I was surprised was that because we had the Spring New Masters Aid campaign in 2024, and it was in March when it would have been expected. So we've had 1 year where it was on the time that I would have expected, and then the next year it is the year that it's not expected, which is pretty rough. What that means is that there's some people who are likely waiting to summon for Castoria. You're got about a 50-50 chance, maybe closer to 75-25, that this gets delayed to back to school, which would mean that Castoria's banner isn't until August. And if you fail that coin toss, and that means she's here now, it's rough, especially if you are planning to summon. That is extremely rough, and I really don't have an answer as to which one it could be. It's a guess. I feel like because last year they did not follow it from last year, that because last year was during back to school, the same thing will happen and this will get moved over to back to school, but there's no way for me to actually know that. You just kind of have to brace for it, and if you get to March, if you get through March and the next thing happens, which is going to be the Evocation Festival, then just assume that it's been moved away and you're gonna have to save on. It really sucks for the people who wanted to summon for Castoria now, but it's something you're gonna have to keep in mind. But we'll move on to the next thing, which is, like I said, Evocation Festival Part 8. This right here was the April Fool's event, so it's not happening for us because obviously April Fool's is not in March. So, and we also don't even get the exact thing they got. We get what they usually get, which is 10 Saint Quartz, but our April Fool's thing is usually very different from what Japan got. We never get a direct one-to-one to what they got, but just to let you know, I'm not forgetting this one. It's just not happening for us. I'm going to talk about it next month on the next video that I do. So, let's move on to Evocation Festival Part 8, just to show you. This is where they're going to be adding BB, Summer Ishtar, Nagio Kagetora, and then also Summer Yu. They're all going to be added to the free-to-play shop, the Evocation shop, or the whatever they call it in the English side, because I always forget sometimes. Along with her costume dress, login bonus, there's going to be around 20 Saint Quartz. 10 of these are going to be from logins, as long as you remember to log in during the right time, and the other 10 come from limited time missions that you have to remember that you also do. There'll be a little craft essence around it. There'll be great campaigns centered around them. If you're a fan of any one of these 4 characters, this is a great time to get them to level 120, because it's the best time to level them up when they have this 2 times great super when they get 2 times EXP gained when leveling up. I've done this before in the past and I always try and bring it up. If you love any of these 4 characters specifically and you want to get them to the highest level possible, make sure to do it during this campaign. It will make your life 1,000 times easier. And then the banners that come with it are the following. Oh, there's also some game updates. Kagetora gets a upgrade to Fade into Heaven. And then the summoning campaign is going to feature Melt, Quetz, Nero, Li Shuwen, Song Yu, Summer Fran, Longling Wong, and also Zufu will be featured on one of them. Solo Quetz banner. For most people that wouldn't really matter, but Quetz is story locked and also my favorite unit in the game. It's like her number 1 and number 2 is Cuckoo. I'm gonna have to look away for this, but yeah, that's what's likely coming for Evocation Festival Part 8, and then we will move on to show you what is coming for Ordeal Call Campaign Part 6, which has 6 Saint Quartz in it, which you can see from these limited time missions as long as you're able to do them. These are related to the Bleached Earth, so you're not going to be able to do them unless you are as close to caught up to the story as you can. You're gonna have to be able to reach the Bleached Earth, which is after Lost Belt 7. So after you beat Lost Belt 7 and do the little prologue, Bleached Earth stuff opens up to you. So if you don't make it there, then you're just gonna miss out on these 6 Saint Quartz. And this has a whole bunch of stuff related to the more Ordeal Call stuff being released. Summoning campaign for this one is going to be Lady Avalon and Hephaestion. And yeah, that's the basics of it. Obviously, when it actually is close to coming out, I'll do a more detailed thing, but this is just to take a quick look and see what you can expect for what's coming in March. And then next we have the Witch on the Holy Night collaboration pre-release campaign. So we'll take a look here. There should be 3 Saint Quartz related to this pre-release, which is from the login bonus, which you can see right here. A little My Room update with some campaigns, which is really nice. Summoning campaign to feature all the past collab banners. So Super Bunyan and Daikokuten will be back. Voyager with Kiyokoyo and Iliasville von Eisenberg. I don't know why I called Ilya by her full name and also butchered it completely, but Ilya will be back along with Miyu. With 3 of these 4 stars being limited, so they're very hard to get multiple copies for. So if you like them, this is your chance to kind of go for. I had a friend who was a big fan of Miyu, and when she came out, he would always summon on the solo banners because he needed to be able to get them, and there was only like 1 time a year that he realistically he's able to get Miyu. Truly suffered for it. But yeah, that's what's coming with the pre-release to Witch of the Holy Night. And then for Witch of the Holy Night, or the Kumano Hot Springs Killer Case, we can see it right here. What's going to be coming with that? is this. So from the main quest on this event, we'll get a total of 10 St. Quartz, and then we'll also get 5 tickets from the missions right here. Again, similar. I'm not going to show off the main quests specifically just because, but you can see there's St. Quartz right there, in case you didn't want to accidentally get spoiled about what some potential final boss type stuff is going to be. I can just tell you though, 10 St. Quartz is coming from him, 5 tickets, and then the big thing are the banners here, which are banner 1 features Oko, or Aoko? Aoko? I have to remember how to actually say that name pretty soon. I have to also remember to play this game. I have about a month to play and beat this game before it actually comes out. The event related to it comes out, but she'll be here on the first banner, and then there will be a banner featuring Space Star and Calamity Jane, and then the next banner after that, which is going to be, I believe, let's see, if this came out on the 26th of April, and that was May 1st, so that would mean about a week later, about a week or so. That's when Alice will be released, and then on Summoning Campaign 4, there's banners that feature Shiki, Muramasa, Kashin Koji, Fujino, and Sukutane Zenjubo. And yeah, this is where Super Saiyan God Aoko is, so I definitely had plans to summon for this. I am going to be doing it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get any one of them because I also have plans for summer and stuff like that, but I'm going to try my best to go for them. A lot of my planned summon bits of it, I got a little bit, not screwed isn't the right way because I was able to get Richard, but a lot of my plans did kind of change when I threw some St. Quartz over on him and it kind of diverted my path, but I still plan to do a decent amount of summoning for both of them and then start saving up for anniversary and summertime once again. But yeah, that's what it's going to be looking like for us in March. And now some stuff to talk about. Like I said at the beginning, is there anything that I expect to happen that wouldn't happen normally, or have I seen other people? I think this month is like literally so packed with stuff. I don't think they can sneak anything in. I've seen a couple people, not a couple people. I saw one person who asked, the main question they asked me is like, do you think that the White Day Servant that releases a year from now, which is Dante, not to be confused with Dantes, but Dante, would he potentially have a chance to come out early because of the stuff coming out now? And I said I don't really think so, just because he is tied to the event, so I don't think that's happening. One of the things I've seen floating around that I think is likely not gonna happen, but I'm at least gonna bring it up because what if the 1% chance I'm wrong, it happens. Some people believe that the collab event that happens on JP, which would happen around this time April, which would be a Fate Strange related collab event, it could happen for us in April. And the reason being is that obviously we have this huge gap. This is going to be coming for us at the very end of March, so in theory for April the only thing that we would have coming up for then would be actually I go here, sorry for all the switching, would be this event right here, which would be the Chaldea Summer Adventure, which was a survey rerun. So it's possible for them to swap out this one so that we could have an event that happens same time as JP. I don't think it's happening, mainly because the person who I think I first saw gave that theory was unaware that we don't have our collabs in April. We have them in March. I think that was just a simple, easy enough mistake to forget in the height of the moment of all the cool things that were happening at the time. It's not that I fault anyone for it. It's just that I think that's likely what happened. If it happens, it would make a decent amount of sense, but they would also make sure that all those Fate Strange characters would have to use materials that we have access to. One of the big things about Lord Logris, which is going to be the New Year's unit from not this year, it was the year after Richard, but some people were thinking could they move her up a year early. The reason that they couldn't is because a lot of her materials have to deal with the grand fights, and for that reason alone we can't introduce her earlier unless we bring that material earlier first. So yeah, it's one of those cases where I feel like I don't think it's likely to happen, but I'm at least going to mention it. If you have any theories that you want to bring out, go ahead. Again, it's really weird to talk about this now, just because, like I said, I would have said the same thing if you had told me, hey, is Richard going to be releasing randomly during Valentine's Day? I would have said no. Why? Just because it's related to Fate Strange? That's a weird thing to kind of release. Why would you ever release the headliner for the New Year's banner this early? And then they did that. So I'm kind of like in a weird place where I'm like, I'm gonna bring it up. I still don't think it's gonna happen, but if it does happen, it's better to be prepared. And as far as everything else goes, as far as saving goes, I feel like a lot of the things coming up, it's a good time to save unless you are missing out. Thankfully for me, I'm not missing very many things. I have the big one, which would have been Draco. This would have been my attempt to get her again if I had failed her the first time around, but I was able to get her. So it's really just kind of saving until this, but you have to again keep in mind, if we're in March, you only have 1, 2, 3, 4 months of saving compared to the 5 months most people are waiting for. Something to keep in mind. But anyway, that's the end of the video, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Forgive me if I was like a little bit too stumbly, but I've been very busy with work, and as such I am constantly working. I've been stuck in the equivalent of work hell for a good bit of a week now. So forgive me if I stumbled over my words or I did anything weird, or in the case of the John thing, I should have looked that up a little bit sooner, but again, forgive me for that. But thank you very much for watching, because I appreciate it a whole bunch. As always, if you want to show support, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I don't even remember if I already said that. That's how tired I am. I'm going to end the video now. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Best of luck to you. Till next time. Bye-bye. Bye.